Our kids are the best mirrors of our souls and our hearts. I think my body is just like, you don't have the choice, that's how it is now. So here we are, sleep deprived but still functioning. It's a very feminine, very in movement form of breathing. Hello mamas, welcome back to Radiant and Nurtured. We are today going to talk about Ayurveda and especially Ayurvedic tips for your mind. I'm originally an Ayurvedic practitioner and I helped hundreds of clients, and especially women, using that ancestral ancient healing system to balance their life. And today we're going to focus on the mind. And even though the mind, I did this, the mind is actually everywhere in your body, according to Ayurveda. Its origin, its base is in the heart, physically, at least the emotional thinking mind. The rational mind is more in the head, but the thinking emotional mind is in the heart. And it literally circulates everywhere in your body. You have channels, according to Ayurveda, for the mind that circulate from your heart to everywhere else in your body. First one, you probably know about it, but it is sleep. Sleep is one of the 3 pillars of health according to Ayurveda. It is such an important part of our health. I'm proof myself that this is the case, because before becoming a mom, I had a pretty good sleep. I would fall asleep and wake up in the morning, basically. Eventually go to the bathroom, but that was it. And since my daughter never slept through the night, I'm now facing a pretty big sleep deprivation. And I was afraid of it, but to be honest, I think I am handling it pretty well. I think my body is just like, you don't have the choice, that's how it is now. So here we are, sleep deprived, but still functioning. But sleep is such an important part of your mental health, and I wish I had prioritized it sooner on my motherhood journey. Because when I became a mom, I realized how little time I was going to have for everything. For laundry, for myself, for working out, for working. And as soon as I had time, for example, when my daughter was sleeping or when she was taken care of by someone else, I would be like, okay, I want to work. I want to do all those things that will make me more productive. And sleep was usually the thing that I would do only if I was exhausted and I didn't have the choice but napping. But napping is such an important part of my health, and I would recommend you to make it a priority if you are sleep deprived because your kids are not sleeping through the night, or if you have older kids, you might go through sleep issues for yourself, or maybe because your kids have nightmares or need you during the night. So please remember, Ayurveda says sleep is one of the 3 pillars of health. It is such an important one. So if we can prioritize it, even if it's just 20 minutes of napping, it would make a huge difference. And if you want a video dedicated to how sleep impacts your mental health, it's fascinating to see how modern science meets what Ayurveda has been saying and sharing for thousands of years. Yeah, let me know in the comments and I will create a video dedicated to how sleep impacts your mental and emotional health. Second tip from Ayurveda that I love is movement. Movement is so crucial because prana, which is this energy force, needs movement to circulate. Whether it's through breath, through working out, through yoga, it is a beautiful and simple way to make everything flowing better. And working out is, I don't really need to elaborate on that. Like, we know when we move, just going on a walk, doing some stretching, going to the gym, or working out at home, it makes such a huge difference on our mental health, and Ayurveda definitely backs up this. It's actually part of the morning routine recommended by Ayurveda. It is definitely one of my pillars. I need movement, and I've been doing less of it since becoming a mom because it's harder for me to commit to a morning routine that is steady as momming thing, chaos, stuff like this. But when I actually do take some time for movement, it makes such a big difference in my life and in my mental health. This cacao is cold now. I've been talking too much. Third advice from Ayurveda, get out of the house. I wish I remember this one sometimes because sometimes, your mind and your body starts to feel like so stiff and so grumpy, and you're like, what's going on with me? What's wrong? And then you're like, oh, I've been in the house for 2 days straight or 3 days straight. I probably need to get outside and just walk and just look at the sky and breathe fresh air. And this is something that I tend to forget to when I'm really into like housework and regular work and being with my daughter. I forget to prioritize being outside, and what helps me remember is that she also needs that. So when I see that she's antsy and running around, I'm like, okay, let's just leave the house. And even if it's to go somewhere inside because it's the winter, so you cannot be outside per se, being in a different place, at the library, at the gym. I'm lucky in Colorado to have a gym that has childcare, and it's just taking me out of the house, which feels so good for my brain, for my health, for my emotions. Another advice that Ayurveda would give for our mind is to surround ourselves wisely. And by this, I mean the relationship that you nourish around you are so impactful for your mental health. And I can't remember, I think it's David Froehlich, one of, most famous Ayurvedic doctors, Ayurvedic practitioners in the US. He would say that the people that surround us are almost the most impactful for our health in general, mental and physical, than anything else, like food, working out, etc. So even though I told you like sleep is one of the pillars of health, relationships, and I see that in my practice every single day, is one of the main factors for health or disease. It's crazy for me to see with my clients that something terrible happened to them, like a car accident, but they're like, yeah, but I came out fine, so this is good. But the other day I was in an argument with my sister-in-law, and I really don't know what to do with it. I still feel kind of worried and angry about it. And I was like, wow, most of the time, especially as women, our relationships are more impactful than anything else on our mental and physical health. So this is so crucial, because people that surround you are going to impact your health, but they're also going to impact your kiddos and your family in general, because how you feel is going to radiate outside, but also because your kids are going to see those people. So who do you want as an example for them, and who do you want as a support system for yourself? Fifth advice that I would recommend as an Ayurvedic practitioner is connecting to the moon. The moon is an archetype that we use. We can use it in astrology, but I use it in my practice as an archetype, like any other archetype. And what I mean by this is the moon is a part of ourself that is the mother, that is the emotional body, that is water, that is creation, like art, music. It's so important as a mom to connect to it, because we need nurturing, and that's why I called my channel this way. We need to be nurtured, and the moon is the nurturing archetype of the sky. It's the mother of the sky. So if you can connect to that energy on a regular basis, that could really enhance your mental health, because the moon is also the planet that regulates your emotional health. And also childhood. We can make so many links between mental health, childhood, emotions, and food relating to the moon. So if you want to go deeper into this, you can check out this link in the description box, and I will guide you through how to connect to the moon on a regular basis. But you can start very easily by following the cycles of the moon, and to do that, I created for you 2 rituals, cacao rituals, one for the new moon and one for the full moon. And you can just do those. Join me in that sacred space to just reconnect to yourself, to your mother inside, mother in the sky, and to your cyclical nature. Another advice that I would recommend as an Ayurvedic practitioner is to follow your triggers and heal your traumas. So we tend to hear that triggers are something we should avoid. Triggers are something we should protect ourselves against. It's like if you had a road full of rocks and we were like, let's just remove all the rocks out of the road. I don't want to be triggered. And my point is, why don't we just put on shoes, and the proper shoes to walk the road? And even better than this, why don't we learn how to walk in a way that rocks are just part of the journey? It's such an important advice, in my opinion, because we're going to be triggered every single day as a mom. in general, but as a mom especially, because we are tired, not all the time, but most of the time we're tired. We are very emotional, especially at the beginning with all the hormones that are in our body. And they don't even do this on purpose, but they're gonna trigger us all the time. And instead of being like, oh, I don't want to be triggered, or I shouldn't deal with that, let's deal with it. Let's just face it. It's hard. It's really uncomfortable. That's why I like to do it with support. I do it with a coach myself. I like to coach women to do it because it's really hard to do it alone. But facing those triggers and being like, okay, what is it teaching me about myself, about my beliefs, about my needs that I'm not meeting right now? And let's change that. Let's actually address the need. Let's address the wound that I have in myself that is triggered right now. 7th advice from Ayurveda: create a support system around you. We are not supposed to do this alone. As mamas know, we are supposed to do this as community, as family, and not just the nuclear family, but as whole vast families. And we need support. We need so much support, whether it is from people or from the moon, like I told you earlier. We need that support on a regular basis, otherwise we get stiff and we get more into our masculine, which is not bad in itself. It's just that as moms and as women, we need to be more in our feminine if we want to be healthy, because our body has been designed for it. And we need to be in our feminine in order to nurture and to give that energy to our kids. So when we need to figure everything out by ourselves, and when we need to do everything by ourselves, we have to be in our masculine. And our masculine is really good at it, but it's not going to help us being more nurturing, being more present, being more receptive for our kiddos and for ourselves. So it's so important to get support. Either it is from professionals, from therapists, from coaches, from friends, from family, or from this beautiful community here on this YouTube channel. So feel free to connect to all the mamas in the comment section. That's why we are here. 8th advice is to understand what nourishes your mind. So I know for myself, I need beauty. That is such an easy one, but it is so crucial to me that when there is chaos, when there is lack of order, lack of beauty in my space, I'm struggling. I have a hard time emotionally, mentally to function well. So this is an important one for me. I know that I need that type of movement. I know that I need that type of people in my life. So understanding what nourishes your mind is such an important tool, I think, because you're going to learn from yourself about yourself and not from that book or from that YouTube video what to do. It's only going to come from you. And cacao can be a really good support for that because it helps connecting to our needs and to ourselves. So feel free to come connect with me in one of my cacao rituals if you want to connect to yourself and learn more about what actually nourishes you. And my last advice coming from Ayurveda is breathing. For the same reason as movement, prana, this energy force, we can call it chi, we can call it pneuma in Greece, for example. It's an energy that needs to move, and it's an energy that needs to be expressed. I've been doing it very rigorously before being a mom, and then it became something that I would do only when I have time, and now it's a practice that when I don't do it, I feel it all day. It's such a beautiful way to connect to ourselves, and there are so many different methods to connect to our breath. I will link in the description the one that I use that I feel very connected to. It's a very feminine, very in movement form of breathing. We're not just sitting still and breathing. There's sound, there's movement. I love this practice, so I will just link it down below. But anything that feels calling to you, that feels like helps your breathing, helps you to reconnect to that so essential breath in your body and in your mind. And it's going to help, again, let everything circulate, being more fluid, more receptive to other people, to yourself, to everything that needs you on a regular basis. This is it. This is my 9 tips list of things that nourishes your mind. Feel free to add yours to the comment section, and I'll do more videos about Ayurvedic tips about food and other subjects. So let me know if you have one subject specifically you want me to cover. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. And if you've been watching this video until the end, please leave an emoji in the comments saying the one advice that you're going to follow more from now on, or the one advice that you already follow. So feel free to join me as well on Instagram. And until next time, take great care of yourself, of your family, and please nurture your heart to radiate your full light to the world. Bye bye!